Hey everybody, how's it going? So we are going to be starting today's video off on a beautiful New York City road. You can see right here. Typical city, typical standard stuff. So if I were to just make one noise and go yeah, that's the smooth. That's how you can tell the smoothness level of the road. So I'm on my way to work. Actually, before I get to work, I'm going to be getting the vaccine. I went for Moderna because my friend got the Pfizer one and then got COVID 3 days later. But then again, granted, he only got the first dose, not both of them. So I figured I'll just get the opposite of whatever he got. We'll see. My comment section has honestly gotten really interesting with all this COVID stuff. Here's one of the things that I find interesting. One of the things I find interesting, besides the fact that there's a guy on his right that's looking at me as he's playing with his balls. That's kind of weird, but typical New York. Also, the thing with the 360 cam is when I point out shit like that, you can actually see it now. So if I say, hey, there's a guy that's staring at me as he's playing with his balls, even if you could actually just turn the camera and see, but you probably didn't want to see that anyway. It's one of the reasons that this thing probably gets so many bad reviews in my comment section. So one of the things I've always found kind of interesting is inconsistencies in political philosophy and politics and stuff. And obviously, people are it's good to have an idea rather than have the idea kind of own you. So I'm always open to people who have, who may have one political philosophy this way or and a different one the other way. But I just always kind of find it interesting is all. Like how I've never met a pro-life vegan. I just find that interesting. I don't want to kill the animals. I care about them. I have never in my life met a pro-life vegan. One of the things I found interesting is that a lot of the people in my comments that tend to say that, I can't believe you have your employees wear masks. That's so stupid. Why did you change anything about how you live your life? Lewis, you're not visiting your 72-year-old dad that has multiple health issues in the beginning of the pandemic because you're concerned? That's insane. It's all the people that are like criticizing me for, saying that if you're concerned about COVID with the 0.04% death rate or whatever, you're a pussy. However, when the V word comes up, the vaccine, I think something like 16 people out of 8 million had issues with one of them. Then it's, oh my God, yeah, that's a serious concern. That could kill you. That could ruin you. I'm not going to take that. Hell no. I just find that interesting. It's like you're a pussy side when it comes to the being, just taking basic COVID precautions is simultaneously it's the end of the world. Because let me tell you something. I run a great business. I think we run a quality business. We got good reviews. I would kill for my return rate, for my defect rate, for my warranty rate to be 15 and 8 million. I would kill for that. But anyway, because that thing comes out to something like 0.000003, I think, percent. So yeah, I'm going to go get my vaccine. We'll see. I was kind of thinking of doing a little bit of a mini-series with it. Like, after I get it, I have a video of me doing the 7 deadlifts at 300 pounds prior to vaccine, and I kind of want to see, post-vaccine, can I do it? Just for fun. Just for fun, I'll probably get taken off of YouTube for medical misinformation. That's what happened to Mr. Eli, the computer guy, when he did his video saying that I am going to follow COVID guidelines and precautions. There's literally nobody here, so I'm not going to be a schmuck and wait. I'm following CDC guidelines, and I got the vaccine prior to starting Silicon Dojo. I found that effing hysterical. He made one joke in his community page. He said, I'm signed up for my 3rd eyeball, and he got a community strike. And he already has 3, so I don't even know how he still has a channel, because I thought when you get 3, they delete you. But that's obviously a joke. Like, if someone says, I signed up for my 3rd eyeball, and they have a picture of their schedule for a COVID vaccine, I know we live in this world now where, people like to say it's just a joke when they say something highly offensive, and, people try to use that to get around everything, but that really is a joke. When someone says, I signed up for my 3rd eyeball, when you have a comment section of people that think that the vaccine is worse than cancer, that is a joke. I read that, and I thought it was a joke. Oh my God, this fucking wind. The one day I don't have my UV glasses on me. Go figure. And I took that as a joke, and I may be a little crazy here, but I think any reasonable person would read Eli the computer guy's comment that he made on his community page and go, oh, this guy's taking the piss. Or taking a piss. What do they say in the UK? Taking the piss, a piss, of piss. I don't know. Whatever they say in England. But it's kind of straightforward to me. Yeah, I want to do a little bit more traveling around the country, and I kind of want to have the... I'm already at a point where I'm not particularly concerned about myself. I looked at the NYC coronavirus stats from New York City Department of Health, and it's, I think it was like 25 to 34, no pre-existing conditions. We have 5 deaths. But for other people, like it's usually this past several months, all I've really done is go from here to work, and that's it. And I have a mask on when I'm at work. And every now and then I've gone to a very not crowded grocery store. So my interaction with other people has been incredibly limited. But if I kind of want to drive around the country and see other places and, I don't know, meet with fans and stuff like that, I was kind of thinking of doing something like that. While I'm going around the country, just figuring out who are in the towns that I'm visiting, and do they want to meet up for lunch or a beer? Or maybe not beer. I quit drinking a while back. But I think that would be kind of fun. And it's more so for the other people. I think I'm actually not afraid of vaccines at all. What I am scared shitless of, and Erica keeps making fun of me for this, I'm scared shitless of needles. I don't know if I've shown you, I got slashed on my arm with a broken Mystic iced tea bottle from a group of people that jumped me on my way home 3 years ago. That was unpleasant. I'm not trying to say I'm brave, I'm saying this to say what a pussy I am. I was less afraid of that situation when I fought back than I am when I go to the doctor and they take out a needle. It's a very irrational fear, and I recognize that, and I recognize I'm being a total pussy, but it's something. Like when I see a needle, I lose my shit. I remember my grandpa actually wound up dying of a heart problem that would have been very easily preventable with a very basic surgery at the age of 59, because he was afraid of any type of surgery, any type of poking, prodding, needles. He died at 59 years old. And the sad thing is, from what I hear from my family, is he knew he was probably going to die. He knew that if he went to the doctor that he would have not died, and he still chose it because his fear was that great of just basic shit like needles. And I have that same exact thing. So no fear of vaccine whatsoever. Needles. Okay, I'm going to honk too. I want to get in on this shit. I kind of want to get in on it, but I know that that's just being an asshole. I have a horn on this bike. That's what this thing is over here. And I got a little converter that does 84 volts to 12 volts, and it can put out up to 30 amps at 12 volts. So I got over 300 watts I could put through this horn if I wanted. My little horn switch. It's killing me. I really want to see what that is, but I'm probably going to scratch the bus because I'm not thin enough to get through it. I'm very curious why everybody's honking. But you could kind of tell that the economy is starting to recover a little bit. People are going back to work because it's the middle of a weekday and there's epic traffic and epic horn honking. You can see it everywhere. Oh, there's smog in the air. I don't know if you can see that. There's like a little cloud of it in front of me that just came out from this bus in the car in front. So like, oh, that was gross. Oh, fuck. I'm going to get in front of this bus. That's fucking gross. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that New York City smog right there. I don't know if to go. What are you doing, woman? What is wrong with you? You fucking nutbag. The light is green for me. She sees that there is a fucking bus, a car behind me, and she's like, let me just walk into your bike. Let me just walk into your bike. That's definitely not a health problem. Wait for de Blasio to rule out a COVID death. She didn't have a mask on. Okay, I'm being facetious there for the conspiracy theorists that are going to jump out at me. Oh, man. But yeah, the city's coming back. I got people running into my bike. I got big clouds of smoke on my face. I'm happy. I'm honestly happy. I was feeling a little bit homesick over the past year. It's like going around the city and seeing it this dead is so weird. It's incredibly strange. I remember last March when the pause order first got announced, I have some of the best staff on earth, and one of the things I've said is one of the reasons that I have not moved my business sooner is that the best staff on earth in the field of data recovery, component level board repair, and MacBook repair is at 141 West 27th Street. I value those people. I care about those people. I don't want to leave them. But I remember, that being said, that disclaimer, so there was a pause order announced. The media was losing their mind over COVID. Everybody was losing their shit. You had all the people that were like yelling and Karening at people who were walking on the sidewalk. Why are you going outside? You're not essential, you fuck, blah, blah, blah. And what they decided to do, because it was so dead, and the store was also dead because nobody was showing up, and everybody had just lost their job, nobody was showing up to work, they decided to play soccer in the middle of the fucking 27th Street. So 27th Street was dead. There was zero traffic whatsoever. So it was so dead, and there was zero cars. So they set it up, and they had a nice little soccer game out in the street. And I remember leaving the store and saying, listen, I'm not going to lecture you. I'm not going to be your parents. Do not get this store on the front page of the New York Times. That's all I ask. That is all I ask, is that you don't give these people a photo op. They all had their mask on, I'll give it that. They were wearing masks and they were playing outside, but everybody was losing their shit so bad, and I just remember leaving the store one day, and they all kind of look at me and smile a little bit, because they know what they're doing. These people are getting paid 20 to 40 bucks an hour to fucking play soccer in the middle of a pandemic, right after Cuomo announced, by the way, you're all supposed to fucking close, you're not essential. Not only are we still open. I'm never gonna forget that. It was so funny. I just walk over to Steve and I say, just one favor. Do not get me in the front page of the New York Times as MacBook repair super spreader event. That's all I ask. Because I know what the optics of it are. What the optics of that event. March 20th. Cuomo announces everybody to close. Next day, the street is empty. And they're all just playing soccer. But I remember that. That was fun. I can't play soccer for shit. I'm horrible at every sport that there is. I have no hand-eye coordination whatsoever. As my martial arts instructor of a year and a half, who for some reason has not kicked me out of his class yet for how bad I am, can tell you, I have no hand-eye coordination whatsoever, horribly uncoordinated. But I remember going out there and trying to play soccer with him. It was kind of fun. I think I kicked the ball at one point into one of the structures above the hotel that's across the street from us. Orhan had to climb over there to get it. It was a bit of fun. It was a bit of fun seeing the entire city empty, to the point where in Midtown Manhattan, the place with one of the highest population densities in the country, where you can't even walk the sidewalk during many times of the day, it was so dead that my staff could play soccer in the street, and even over the course of an hour, they never had to move because of incoming traffic. It was so dead that there was not even a New York Times reporter there to get a picture and guilt trip us as to how we were spreading a disease by wearing masks and playing a game that has you 20 feet apart from each other in the outdoors. That was sadly my first concern. I'm sure there's other people out there that had it that just didn't speak up about it at the time because they didn't want to have all the, people shove microphones in their face and say, Are you looking for people to die? Oh man, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. But I'm excited. Gonna get my vaccine, overcome my fear of needles. I'm probably not gonna overcome my fear of needles. I'm probably gonna whimper like a pussy while staring at the corner of the room and praying that it's over. That's what I'm gonna do. And the next time I have to do it, the exact same thing is gonna happen. I don't know if you could see it from here, but at this angle, the water looks yellow-brown. Ah, that's the New York City that I love. The bridge is a little light. The Williamsburg Bridge, on a sunny day on the afternoon, I would expect more people to be here. Especially since the weather is starting to get nice. I was very surprised that I see nobody here. That's really strange. Very strange. I had a fun time with Erica yesterday. I feel bad because she has this issue where when she's in a vehicle, she gets motion sickness. She gets motion sickness in a car. And the places that I'd like to take her that are nice are far away from New York City. So it takes a while to get to them. So she gets this motion sickness, and I feel bad doing it to her. That's a lot of wind. That's a lot of wind, man. That's not necessary. Okay, thank you. He listened to me. I want to take her to more nice places around the country, and I kind of want to take some time to explore it. There are certain circumstances that I have not discussed or disclosed publicly that have pushed me into a little bit of an early retirement when it comes to working, doing board repairs as a job. And I would like to take advantage of those circumstances and look on the upside of them and utilize them to put a bit more time into my life. You know, a lot of the comments on this channel have been take a vacation, take a vacation, take a vacation, take a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation. But one of the things that I'd like to do is take a vacation. I'd like to go on a road trip around the country and stop off at all these different little towns and places and explore them and see what they're like. And the very sad thing is I'd actually prefer to just spend it sitting in my office doing board repair. But that's not an option at the moment. So the second best thing would be to kind of travel around a bit and get some and experience it. Like we went to the beach at Cape May, and it was nighttime, it was cold, it was windy, but it was still fun just to see that sight. To see a perfectly clean and perfectly clear sky. With, you know, no smog, no mess, no superpopulation density, just a nice, beautiful, different place. And I'm not saying I want to live there. I don't want to live in Cape May. Phil Murphy is kind of like the New Jersey version of de Blasio, and I'm not really feeling the 2.3% property tax thing or very much. But it was so nice just to visit, to take a look at it, take it in, appreciate it. I don't know if you guys can hear any of this, by the way. This is legit like 20, 25 mile an hour winds, and I'm on a bike. So all I did is I took this DPA 4065 microphone I have, and I took some packing foam and I wrapped it around it, and then I use a twist tie to keep the packing foam on it. So I have about 2 or 3 layers of packing foam wrapped around it. All right, is there anybody here? There is. When going through a red light, you should always make sure there's nobody there. It's common courtesy. Yeah, Erica running on the beach, it seemed to make her visibly happy, and it made me visibly happy too to see it. And there's a bunch of places that I'm sure would make. I also saw her visibly happy when she saw the place that we took, restaurant we went to. I'm gonna put a little bit more time into that. Whoop. Yeah, as nice as having a car is for the freedom to get out of the city, within the 5 boroughs, I still have a great preference for the bicycle. Even with this one, it's missing one of the phases of the motor, so this motor stalls really easily and I have to be really careful and baby it, so I'm doing mostly pedaling today. But it's still it's still a faster way of getting around. More convenient, and I like the outdoorsness of the bicycle. I'm probably going to go and complete my motorcycle license. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through in New York City to get a motorcycle license if you don't already have a driver's license. I initially wanted to get a motorcycle license first, but there's a bunch of hoops that you got to go through to get the motorcycle license if you don't have the driver's license. So I got that first. After this, I want to get my pilot's license. When I went to Maine, we flew in a Cessna 402. I thought it was a joke. I thought like we're waiting in here until we get to the real airplane. And they said, no, this is what we're flying in. It looks like it's held together by a bunch of nails and thumbtacks with a bunch of 1972 television hardware and shit in there, keeping it in the air. It's like, really? This is, an airline is trusting this to not fall out of the sky? Oh, but it kind of grew on me, and I would like to get a pilot's license. I think a Cessna 402 plane is out of my budget to purchase, unless maybe I get a broken one and ask Rich Rebuilds to rebuild it for me. I wonder if Rich Rebuilds could rebuild a plane. I bet he could. I would trust him. I wouldn't trust me as the pilot, though, but I'd like to get my pilot's license after the motorcycle one. I don't know if Erica would trust me on that. It's interesting because Erica thinks I ride this bike like a lunatic. I still maintain no crashes. Get one concussion from oil, but didn't crash. I have never hit another human being or a car. Have had a car hit me before, turning without a turn signal, but I've never hit someone before. But she does not want to drive. And she does not want to ride the bike or motorcycle. But she has said she would not get on a Cessna 402 if I was flying it. She does not want anything. So she'll trust my driving and my bike riding, but she will not trust me as a pilot. So I gotta prove her wrong. Maybe I tell her, next time we have to fly out to Washington for right to repair or something, we get in a Cessna 402. I say, give me one second, honey, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then the plane leaves, and then she noticed, she says, wait, why hasn't Lewis gotten back from the bathroom? And I go, I'm your pilot, honey. And she's like, what? I don't know, I think that would be kind of funny. And look, people are posing for Instagram pictures in the street again. Got some. So this is back to being New York. Almost there. I would usually say, look, all the stores are no longer vacant. It's back to being New York, but they were all vacant before we had fucking COVID. So, I'm kind of curious what my store looks like. I have time to check it out before my shot. Let's see. So if I get this shot today, my next one's supposed to be, I think, May 28th. So by June, I will be fully vaccinated. I'm fairly... This would be... You just not get me... That is an adorable little doggy. I smell some hookah. That smells good. That's one smell that I really kind of miss. I miss that smell. I used to have a hookah place right next to my store. I'm actually curious if that place is still open or if they went out of business. They were there for a really long time before I was. Hi. All right. I kind of miss this block. Can I be honest with you? I kind of miss my old store. I really do. Life was simpler back then. I think renting this new place and getting a space that costs over twice as much in rent and remodeling it to be a much nicer looking store is probably one of the stupidest things I ever did. When you consider the timing of it all. Alright, so the hookah place hasn't gone out of business, although they are closed at 1 p.m., which they used to be open at this time. They used to have lunch. I used to sometimes get a falafel platter from there. They were really nice people. The owner would offer me, a tea. He'd actually come over here with tea and stuff sometimes. So this place, okay, I can show you guys irrefutable proof that this place has not even been opened or since I left. So if you look in the window, you will see that there are 3 Bafang motors over here. They're all burned out in different ways. Those are 3 burned out Bafang motors. Those were there, and that little charger was there since I left. So my price list is still there. Not only has this not been shown to other people or anything like that, I don't even think this has been opened. And those are the same locks that were there when I moved here. When I moved out. Also, you can see that there's a bunch of these little alcohol, these liquor things over here. This is in true New York fashion over here, because nobody knows how to use. So right at the ends of the block, there's a garbage pail. But why would you use the garbage pail at the ends of the block when you can just throw your little Bacardi Gold into the gate of my store? It's a filth. Well, not my store anymore, I guess. The old landlord store, Hub NYC store. Oh shit! The deli went out of business. Corner store available. No fucking way. That guy was the guy that ran that place was a nice guy. They were paying, I think, 13 or 15K a month in rent. I don't know how the fuck they afforded that, because that place is really small. But yeah, the guy that ran that place was always really nice to me. If I didn't have the cash on me or something, I'd say, give me 1 second, I'll come right back. And he would just take it, man. I feel bad because he would trust me to come back and pay him. And I always did. Usually I would come back, if that happened, I would come back later in the day or the next day. And if I owed him $1 or $2 or $3, I would just give him 10 as a way of saying, you trusted me when you didn't have to. I realize that doesn't pay in this city, so, here's for the other 2 or 3 times you did that and nobody came back. And he would say thank you. And it makes me sad to see that place out of business, because it means that trusting people in that way and treating them in that way doesn't pay. It means that doesn't work. You can't be... I don't like the idea that if you're honest and you wish and you see the best in people, that you go broke. I'd rather it be the opposite. This is a ridiculous amount of wind that makes no sense. There's no reason for this. Oh my God. I read something this morning as well about CD... just the headline, I didn't read the article, so this could be total bullshit. But it was something about the CDC changing guidance on cruises, maybe allowing them, before September or so this year at the July. That may wind up being a good thing for the industry. See, he didn't look both ways before going to the red light. That's what I talk about. There's different types of jaywalkers. So he had a red light. He saw that I'm coming this way, and it's like, I'm not going to slow down. I'm just going to play chicken, So there are variants. Just like there's different variants of COVID, there's different variants of New York City jaywalkers. You have the people that don't even look. You have the people that look, but they don't give a fuck. It's like, come at me, bro. And then you have the people that look and stop, or they'll look, and if there's something on the way, they'll stop. And then you have people that actually don't jaywalk. But those people don't exist here. That's just Kansas. I remember dating this girl in Kansas, and I was staying at the Hilton Hotel when I was visiting. And there was this taco place across the street, really good. And at the place we were at, keep in mind, this is a Kansas. There was not a lot of pollution there because there's not a lot of population density, and there was literally just a taco place across the way, a bar, and the Hilton. So I go, and I'm about to cross the street, and she goes, "Wait, we can't cross the street. What are you talking about?" Well, you can't cross. And I say, "Yes, I can. There's no cars." She goes, "Yeah, but the light's red." And I said, "There's no cars." And she goes, "Yeah, but the light's red." And I look to my left, I look to my right, and I say, "You can see a quarter mile down the road in each direction. The speed limit on the street is something like 30-something miles an hour. There's no cars." And then I cross the street and I say, I'll order for you. You know. But it blew my mind that there are parts of the country where people actually, where those lights up there mean something. Because you'll see, they don't mean shit here. I missed that. Kosi used to be here. I had my first positive date there. Not first date, first positive date. First date that went well. I was like 45 minutes late for it. I was coming from work while we were still building the First Avenue store 9 years ago. And she has this giant smile on her face. And I said, like, why are you smiling? Elena, why are you smiling? I showed up, like, you've been waiting here for almost an hour. And she said, you are building a store and a business for yourself and your employees to better your life and follow your dreams. And you took time out of your day to have dinner with me. Thank you. And it was just, this has to be a meme. Somebody's punking me. It was all downhill from that moment, but still, very nice moment. Yeah, again. It's little moments like that that I remember for really long periods of time. When someone goes out of their way to be a considerate or a decent person when you're not expecting it, or not when you're not expecting it, when they have the right to not be, I think that tells you a lot about people. I mean, not in this case. This would obviously be the opposite for a that's a topic for another 2-hour-long video in and of itself. But when someone is in the right to be really mad at you and blow up on you and yell at you or guilt you, and in that moment when they have the right to, where nobody's going to look at them and say you're being unfair, that they have the right to be an ass, and they decide to be completely positive. There's something about that that for some reason is, those events are very memorable to me. I think she moved away to become a teacher in Brazil or something. And people are outside. It is busier than ever. I kind of want to turn back. I'm being such a pussy about this needle, it's ridiculous. I remember she actually emailed me a few years later. I showed up on this local news show after I thought Apple was going to sue me. And the morning of that news show, I get a call from her. And that sounds really happy and bubbly and nice and everything. After pretending I didn't exist. And that was one of those moments where I started to make me very suspicious. I was going to talk about that on my friend's show. He's starting a show called the Talking Shit Podcast, and he's my personal trainer that I often enjoy having long debates, arguments, discussions, or just musings about life with. It's like, we were talking about this on the phone the other day, that it is difficult to tell if someone would treat you this certain way if they had met you prior to, you getting on the news or having 1 million subscribers or something like that. Now it kind of changes your outlook on things. Yeah, this is a lot of traffic. This is just about a pre-COVID level of traffic here. I don't know if you guys remember when I checked out that space while live streaming. It says this space could be yours. Yeah, if you're stupid enough to pay $20,000 for it. Says the guy that signed a lease for $13,000 space in Midtown Manhattan. Remember, anytime I laugh at idiots, it's because I am one. I'm laughing at myself. That building is never going to get finished. I see that every time I pass with all the same stuff. Look at. Look. All right, we are 20 blocks away from vaccine. I don't want to go. I remember when my parents were taking me off to this summer camp or something like that when I was a kid. And they said, if you want to go home, we'll let you go home. Just let us know. And they didn't say it. And like right at the very end, it's like, I don't want to go. I want to go home. I'm almost 33 years old. And I feel the exact same way about a fucking needle. My God, I'm a pussy. Oh. Yep, just like Kansas with the red lights. Just like Kansas. Kansas. Shit like that. I think the city is so close to back to normal that my secret classified parking spot might have been taken. I found a place to park where I don't pay for parking in Manhattan, and it's very close to the store, and it's always available 100% of the time, and it's totally not illegal. I'm totally not parking someplace I'm not supposed to. That the only reason I'm not getting in trouble is nobody's noticed it yet. But I'm starting to notice that that area might just be taken. Damn it. Who the fuck wants to pay $500 to $800 a month for parking? All right. It's about time for me to overcome my what a New York thing to have. There's a garbage right in the middle of the bike lane. And everybody walks by it and nobody does anything. I think that's the thing that makes New York New York. It's not that it's nasty. It's that people recognize that it's nasty and there's dangerous shit like this and nobody does anything. That's the part that's fucked up. Granted, I don't have gloves on me, so I ain't going through the fucking garbage and picking it up right now. But you can't leave this in the middle of a bike lane. And everybody sees it. Like, it's clear as day that all this shit is here. Does anybody give a fuck? Of course they don't. It's not their problem. It's somebody else's problem. It's always somebody else's problem, never theirs. If you don't clean up your corner of the world, nobody will. Anyway. Okay. A few blocks away from the third eyeball. I'm ready for my third eyeball. I'm ready for my community strike, Susan. You know how horribly, disgustingly vicious that is? To take someone who is saying that as a joke and take them as if they are serious in order to justify claiming that they are spreading medical misinformation so that you could ban them after they've been a business partner for over 8 years. Man, when people wonder why I don't do YouTube or try to do YouTube, quote, professionally or for a living, it's like why this is just a hobby channel where most of my stuff is just, what I'm thinking at the time of random shit posts. I would never, ever, ever trust my livelihood, my ability to pay for my mortgage, my rent, food, savings to a platform run by people like that. Anyway, I'm here. The only cure for being a pussy is to stop being a pussy. So I'm gonna go get my needle. I will see you all next time. It was good having you here. You all make good company. By you all, I really mean the voices in my head that I talk to. But since this is a video that's going up on YouTube, I can claim that it's a conversation with my viewers. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy at all. See y'all later.